Hey y'all, this is Toya. You tuned in to Healthy Talks and Walks with Toya, where we are generational curse breakers that are growing in the uncomfortable. Hey y'all! So it's been forever. I know. I'm trying to get back into this thing, so y'all give me some grace, okay? So if you're new to my channel, my name is Latoya Calhoun. I am a wife. By faith, I'm a mother. I am a transformational speaker and a life coach. And I also sell shirts and coffee mugs at autumnfaithcompany.com. And on those shirts, we say generational curse breaker and growth is in the uncomfortable. So y'all go on over there to autumnfaithcompany.com and copy you some merch, please. And thank you. Okay, so on this channel, we like to talk about things that we are learning on our journey to healing. And something I recently discovered was about attachment styles. So what are attachment styles? Attachment styles are how we generally form bonds and practically do life with people, right? In romantic relationships and friendships and other close bonds. Why is this important? It's important. Well, first off, let me back up and say this attachment styles are normally formed in our early childhood. I'm gonna put a pin in that, in our early childhood. Okay. The reason this is important is because when you are struggling in relationships with others or even with yourself, or maybe you're not even struggling, right? But you just want to know, how do I show up best for other people? A lot of this starts with understanding. You don't understand something that you don't know. So a level of self-awareness is super important on what is your attachment style. So there are 4 different ones, and I'm going to do like a little mini series where we talk about each one in detail. But today I'm just going to identify what they look like. So secure attachment style is someone that is what it sounds like, secure, right? They don't have a problem with forming relationships, intimacy with people. And intimacy does not necessarily always mean sex, people. I do want to put that out there, right? So intimacy is being able to be vulnerable and transparent and authentic and things like that, right? So they're able to engage in those type of relationships. They also able to have the autonomy to be on their own sometimes too, and that's okay. Right. So it's just like I said, what it sounds like. You're secure. Right. Well, then the next one is anxious attachment style. This attachment style is mostly driven out of rejection and abandonment. So a lot of the times these people are concerned about their relationships. If there's any space, they feel like this person may abandon them. And so they crave intimacy or closeness. And a lot of the times want reassurance, often from the people they're in relationship with, that, hey, you're not going to leave me, are you? Right? Okay, so then the next one is called avoidant attachment style. This attachment style is normally noticed in hyper independence, right? And they don't need nobody. I'm gonna just do all of the things by myself. They also are like super surface. They don't form meaningful bonds with people and things like that. The reason that this can be an issue is just, well, we'll identify the issues when I go into them in more detail. Okay, so that's avoidant, right? So the avoidant is they avoid intimacy, again, because it takes a level of vulnerability. So they stay surface. Okay. Then the next one, which is the last one of the 4 main ones, is called disorganized attachment. This one is a mixture of anxious and avoidant. And the reason how this shows up is I want to be close to you, but I'm afraid to have vulnerable conversations. So I'm gonna push you away and things like that. I want to show up for you. I want to let you show up for me, but I'm afraid that you may let me down. So I won't let you show up for me, right? I'll say your no for you. And so this is again important because of the fact that it affects how we interact with people in the day-to-day life, right? And so I was talking to someone earlier today, a friend of mine, and he was telling me, it was Coach Ray from my gym at Elevate Fitness. And he was telling me that at one point in time in his in his early adulthood, he just like quit a lot of stuff and everything or whatever. And it took him to make a decision to say, I'm going to lock in, I'm going to get disciplined, and I'm going to return back to some of the things that my dad taught me in the younger years. This is important because the scripture that came to my mind when he said this, I recently heard somebody say this: train up a child in the way they should go. In the days when they're older, they will return to it. A lot of the times Christians use this as in training them in the Bible. But how are we teaching our children with interacting with people? What are we teaching them when they make a mistake? Do we withdraw our love? when they make a mistake? Do we tell them, hey, your actions have consequences? Do we avoid having hard conversations because we fear the intimacy? And so we just avoid everything that seems to be hard. So we're afraid to open up, or do we abandon them? Like, leave that to yourself, So I think it's super important to know how it is that we've shown up, because when a child get older, they generally return back to these things that was in their early youth. And this is why it's so important. The good news is that we can all move to the secure, which is the more healthier style. We can move to that by first exploring why we have the anxious or the avoidant or the disorganized attachment style. And that's where the hard work comes in. I find that a lot of times people aren't willing to do the hard work of looking themselves in the eye and owning that, hey, this experience really shaped how I do life, how I see myself, how I interact with people, because they feel as if it's going to make them a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person. This is just where you're starting at. It doesn't have to be where you end, right? And then also, if you are a secure attachment style, great. That's amazing. But how do you maintain being secure? Because I believe a lot of the times we think that we can just, okay, I'm gonna just lose the weight and then we just gonna stay there. No, you have to maintain. You have to do something to stay where you are, right? It takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of the word I'm looking for, intentionality, to stay in this secure attachment style. So I hope that this helps, and I'll be coming back to explain each style in a little bit more depth in the coming weeks. So please come back and listen to the whole thing. Now, just give me some comment, like, subscribe, and share, please, because it may bless somebody else. Peace.